All right, so far we've talked a lot about mindset, but if you've ever felt like you know what to do and still don't do it, this lesson will explain why. Because changing your drinking isn't just a decision, it's a biological loop. And before we talk about that and how to change your drinking, we need to talk about why you drink. Not why you drink socially or culturally, not why you drink for the taste of wine or buzz of bourbon. I mean, the real reason, the one that your brain keeps going back to, even when you say you're done for the night. It's not weakness, it's not lack of willpower, I said before. It's actually chemistry. It's not just in your head, it's also in your body. So if you've ever felt like you know what to do but can't seem to do it, this will explain why. First, dopamine is a chemical in your brain that gets released when you do something your brain thinks is rewarding. It's not the pleasure chemical like most people think, it's actually the motivation chemical. It tells your brain, that felt good, do it again. Alcohol triggers a spike in dopamine, so the brain takes note of this. So the next time that you feel stressed or bored or tired or social, it nudges you, let's do that again. And the more this happens, the more your brain learns to think alcohol is relief, even if the actual experience is less rewarding over time. And what this does is it creates a loop. And in this loop, you have a trigger, a drink, a reward, a craving, and then repeat it. It becomes automatic. Not because something's wrong with you. Actually, it's quite the opposite. It's because your brain is doing its job. So alcohol slows down your nervous system at the very beginning. And that's why your shoulders drop and your thoughts quiet down after your first few sips. But as the alcohol wears off, your brain, it begins to rebound. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, they begin to rise. And this is why you might wake up wired in the middle of the night or feel anxious the next day. And it's actually called the rebound effect. It's one of the reasons that alcohol doesn't actually help us with stress long term. What it does is just mask the stress in the moment, but increases it over time. But even still, your brain remembers the initial relief. And so the next time you feel overwhelmed, it offers up the same solution. So every time you drink is a response to a trigger. Your brain is then learning. So if stress equals wine, if celebration equals champagne, if Friday equals beers, well, those connections become automatic. And this is what you call the habit loop. If you remember, cue, craving, behavior, reward. So any of those you can break. So for example, you can identify the cue, you can interrupt the behavior, you can replace the reward, or you can support the craving. Any of those in a healthier way. And that's what this course is going to help you do. So once a habit is formed, your brain doesn't ask for permission. It runs it on program. And this is why things like willpower and white knuckling it doesn't work. Your brain is logical. The prefrontal cortex, well, it gets overridden by your reward system. So it's not that you don't care, it's that your brain is actually doing what it was trained to do. But the good news, habits are rewritable, and that's the power of something called neuroplasticity. Your brain can change when you change your patterns. Now, here's what most people miss. Your drinking habit isn't just a mental pattern, it's also a biological loop because alcohol impacts nearly every system in your body. It depletes neurotransmitters like GABA and serotonin, which regulate your mood. It disrupts your sleep, specifically REM sleep, which is your deep sleep. It spikes cortisol. It dysregulates your nervous system. It throws off your blood sugar, which leads to cravings and irritability. And of course, it taxes your liver, which affects your energy and gives you brain fog. It also interferes with melatonin production and makes restorative rest harder to come by. So when you try to cut back or stop drinking, even in moderation, your brain may want to change, but your body, it might not be ready yet. And That's why you can have a strong intention and still find yourself pouring a drink. It's not a willpower problem, it's actually a systems problem. And most habit advice focuses on mindset. But if your biology is out of balance, change gets harder than it needs to be. When your sleep is disrupted, your cravings, they're going to be intense, and your mood is low, well, your brain is going to reach for the fastest relief it knows, which you're here is alcohol. That's why supporting your body, it actually matters in this process. So that can mean things like prioritizing sleep, eating in a way that keeps your blood sugar steady for those cravings, moving your body regularly, taking targeted supplementation, of course, Cloud9, to help regulate cravings, mood, and energy. So, whether it's through nutrition, routines, or systems, your body needs just as much care as your mindset. So, when your system feels stable, change gets easier and you don't have to suffer through it. You just need the right support in place. So, behavioral tools will give you awareness and structure. Biological tools will give you stability and resilience. So, when you use them both, you're not just managing willpower, you're changing the whole system. You're reducing cravings before they peak. You sleep better and you recover faster. You think more clearly and make better choices throughout the day. And that's going to lead to build confidence that sticks. You're not forcing yourself into a new identity. You're building one that's rooted in how you feel, not just what you do. And that's what makes the shift sustainable. When you understand how alcohol interacts with your mind and your body, everything gets a lot less personal. You can stop thinking maybe you just don't have the strength. You can start working with your brain instead of fighting against it. And it's all about understanding what's been driving you and creating something better from there. And I'm here to tell you that's not just possible, you've actually already started it. So today's reflection: if your brain is simply doing what it was trained to do, what support would help you retrain it? All right, I'll see you in the next lesson.